Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Carnage Reviews. My name is Eric, and today I'm taking a look at the top 5 horror film sequels that don't suck. And this is a little cool thing I got at Marshall's, and for those that fear change, don't worry. The hand is right here. Hello. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything going on here at Carnage Reviews. Just tap that subscribe button and then hit the little bell notification icon to be notified when I upload new content. If you do that, that'll make me happier than a fat kid who sees chocolate cake. Just for the record, I love chocolate cake, but actually, what really makes me happy is a case of beer. So let me give credit where credit is due. The idea for this video was suggested to me by my friend Colin from the Horrific Podcast. Definitely check out their channel. A link to their channel will be in the description below. Oh, and I do have one more thing to shamelessly self-promote. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page if you wish to support the channel further. A link to that will be in the description below also. And this thing just makes me look like an evil genius, doesn't it? Maybe not a genius, but maybe just like an evil guy. Definitely not a genius. So this is 100% just my opinion. And if you don't agree with that, that is 100% okay. It's okay to be wrong. I'm just kidding, guys. But definitely let me know in the comments what you think of my list. And also let me know what some of your favorite horror sequels are. So number 5 on my list may surprise you. Stepfather 2. Now, this is a surprisingly good sequel to a movie that really didn't need a sequel to begin with. Terry O'Quinn returns as the stepfather serial killer desperately looking for a family. And his performance is great, as it was in the first one, and really all the actors in this film do really good performances. It's not really bad at all. The plot is decent, although a little inconsistent, but I believe that may have been due to some studio interference. This film was directed by the late Jeff Burr, who I believe was a very underrated director. So number 4 on my list is actually another film directed by Jeff Burr. Again, this guy was a super underrated. He was considered at one point to direct Halloween 4. That would have been interesting. I think that would have been a good film if he did direct it. Halloween 4, what we got, was decent, but I think it would have been even better with him directing it. So anyways, number 4 on my list is Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. Again, this film is by no means perfect, but it's interesting and is fun to watch. The actor playing Leatherface does a really good job, and Leatherface looks really good too. The family in this film is also very interesting. I kind of wish that we focused more on the family in this movie and learned more about them because they were the most interesting part of the film, besides Leatherface, of course. And for a third movie, it's also really good too, considering that most third films in horror sequels are not that great. Now, this may not be a super popular opinion, but I actually slightly prefer this film over the second one. Don't get me wrong, the second one is good, but I just like the darker tone of this one. Number 3 on my list is Phantasm 2. The ball is back, baby. Now, I'm a fan. I love the Phantasm film series. Even Ravager, I have a soft spot for. Phantasm 2 is my favorite sequel to revisit. I like watching it the most. It's just a fun 80s horror action film. Now, I know the original actor who played Michael is in this one, but James LeGros does a good job as Michael in this film, I have to say. And he has good chemistry, too, with Reggie Bannister. The tall man is a beast in this film, and you just can't go wrong with it. It's a fun film to watch. I've always wanted to do this, too. Just imagine blood coming out. Now, number 2 on my list is probably going to cause some people to get their panties in a wad, but whatever. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, I know I've heard it all before. There's no Michael Myers in the movie. If there's no Michael Myers, it's not a Halloween movie. Me. I don't know if they did that when they said that, but that's what I'm hearing them say when they say that to me. But anyways, yes, Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but it's still a great movie. Originally, John Carpenter wanted each Halloween movie to have a different story, which I think was a cool idea. And to this day, I still say American Horror Story ripped it off. But anyways, Halloween 3 feels like a Halloween movie. It has that look. It has that tone. It puts you in the Halloween spirit, I would say. What's interesting, too, about this movie is it has that classic horror film vibe to it. And the story is just crazy. I mean, it's just a weird story, and it makes it fun. It's a fun movie to watch. And you know what? Like Tom Atkins, I don't give a fuck what you think about Halloween 3. I love it. Number 1 on my list of horror film sequels that don't suck. Hellbound Hellraiser 2. I love Hellraiser. And when I watch the first Hellraiser, I immediately have to watch Hellbound Hellraiser 2 because I just think the films go so well together. It's like watching one movie. Hellraiser 2 has the look and feel of the original while building more on the basic idea of what was going on in the first one. It's bigger, it's a bigger story. Now, Hellraiser 2 is not perfect. At times, the plot feels rushed, but it has some really good ideas here. And Dr. Chenard is a badass in this movie. I love this character. I really wish we learned more about him, and I wish too that if the producers and creators of Hellraiser that were involved in the film series, if they were insistent on replacing, you know, Doug Bradley as Pinhead with a different character rather than Julia, they should have had Dr. Chenard be the center because I just feel he was more interesting than Julia. I'm not really sure what the appeal was and why they were hell bent, no pun intended, on having Julia be the center of the film series. It really didn't make any sense to me. I'm not really sure why they were thinking that. But anyways, the film, not again, while not perfect, it's a fun movie. It's watchable, and the film score is epic too. It's just so badass. It's a great movie all around, and it's one of my favorite horror sequels of all time. Thanks for checking out today's video, guys. And again, let me know in the comments what some of your favorite horror film sequels are, and let me know what you think of my list. If you enjoyed today's video, please tap that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, guys, I bid you adieu. Bye-bye. I did the wrong noise there.